She thought her HOA badge made her queen of the lake. She didn't know the water, the dock, and even the boat she rammed into all belonged to me, and that my canines don't take kindly to trespassers.
The water was calm, glassy, and perfect that morning. The kind of lake scene people put on postcards. My old ranch boat, freshly patched and cleaned, sat at the dock waiting for her first float of the season. I'd spent weeks getting her ready, sanding down the worn wood, checking the motor, and making sure she was lake legal. This was my property, my water access, my rules. My two canines, Max and Ranger, paced along the shore as I untied the rope. They knew the routine. Both shepherds were trained working dogs, loyal, protective, and smart enough to sense trouble before it arrived. And trouble was about to arrive. I just floated the boat out onto the lake, letting the current ease her toward the open water, when the sound of tires grinding over gravel shattered the morning calm. I turned toward the noise, and my stomach sank. Karen. Not just any neighbor, HOA Karen. President, self-appointed enforcer, queen of rules nobody asked for. She was behind the wheel of her big silver SUV, barreling down the narrow dirt road toward my dock like she owned the place.
I barely had time to wave before she shouted something through the open window, something about illegal watercraft and community bylaws, before slamming the SUV into gear and aiming straight for the shore. My dogs froze, ears up, eyes locked on her vehicle. The sound of her tires chewing through the dirt and then crunching over the old boat ramp made my jaw tighten. Then it happened. Her front bumper smashed into the side of my ranch boat. Wood splintered. The boat lurched sideways. Water splashed up, drenching me from the knees down. Max barked. Ranger growled low, steady, and dangerous. I stepped between them and the chaos, but I could already tell Karen had no idea what she just walked into. These weren't just pets. These were trained canines, and they knew when their handler was under threat. She flung her door open, waving a stack of papers like it was a holy writ. "This boat is in violation. You are trespassing on HOA-controlled waters."
I laughed. I actually laughed, because this lake wasn't HOA property. It was mine. Bought and paid for, deed in hand. And the more she yelled, the more my canines moved forward, shoulders stiff, eyes locked on her every move. What she didn't know was that I'd been expecting this. Karen had been sniffing around ever since I moved in, trying to find a way to control my lake access. I'd seen her on the far bank last week with a pair of binoculars. But I hadn't expected her to escalate this far, to literally ram my boat. And now she'd crossed a line.